You guys like adventure? How many people do you know who like adventure? You know, people who just the regular mundane life is not exciting enough for themselves. So they gotta give themselves a thrill, like, I don't know, surfing off of the top wave in the world, or riding the craziest roller coaster, or bungee jumping, or jumping out of airplanes, or skiing Mount Everest, or hiking, you know, or whatever, going out into the wilderness. There's this book called like The Frontier about this guy named Chris McCandless. He drove all the way out to Alaska, and I think he ate a poisonous plant, and he starved himself to death, and they wrote a book and a movie about him, all kinds of stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I don't need any adventure. I'm very happy. You know, I'm very happy sitting my TV and watching the adventures of other people in movies. You know, for adventure, I get in the train, I go into the city. For adventure, I take a walk around the block, I go for a bus ride. For adventure, I go to a different diner or a different McDonald's, you know. I like simple things because I appreciate what I got, because a lot of these folks, they get themselves out on the edge of a branch, like they go out in a branch that they can't, you know, get back to the tree from, and then they're crying for their mommy. Then they wish they could be in their living room. They wish they could have their regular boring life. And I can tell you, you know, all right, some are movies, some are stories, but you know what? You end up going hiking sometimes by yourself, and it's not recommended to go there because it's too steep without a guide, or because of the weather. You find yourself with your arm or your leg trapped under a stone that fell, and you're there for days and hours, and you're drinking your own piss and cutting and drinking your own blood, and then finally you realize the only way you're going to be free, because you're going to starve yourself to death, is to grab your knife or whatever you got and amputate your leg or your arm and hobble out of there. Or you're out in the middle of a canyon in the wilderness somewhere, you know, and you accidentally stabbed yourself or cut yourself, and you're bleeding, and you're trying to avoid this crazy bear, and the bear comes after you and grabs you and takes you away. Or you're up on a ski lift because you had to get that last ride in the ski lift before they closed it for the night, and you're up there, and you know you're going to freeze to death, you know, and the only way to get down there is to jump. So you think you could jump and you could survive, and you bust your leg open, and there's blood gushing out, and the wolves smell you, the coyotes, they grab you, and they take you away, and they maul you alive. They maul you alive. I can think of millions of stories. I'm saying, you know, I'm always hearing every other day about these hikers who were rescued, and they're so happy. They were trapped for days all the way out there in the middle. People go to the Yellowstone National Park, Grand Canyon. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. They disappear and they never come back alive again. You never see them. So I'm just saying, think about it, you know. Usually, I remember someone's told me, because I wanted to write books, I wanted to write fiction. This person said, hey, you know, you could just write a novel just sitting in your own little village in the town square, sitting on the bench, looking at the gazebo and the grass, and you could cook up a whole story. It's true. Use your imagination. You don't got to go out and on an edge and do this to yourself. You know, hey, this is a warning. So don't come crying to me when you're out there and you don't even have a cell phone and you can't complain. You wish that you listened to me. I'm out.